Alright, hey guys, welcome back. So this will be a video over the this just so happens to be RZX brand. There's about 3 different brands that use this exact one, so don't even pay attention to brand. If you go on Amazon and you type in Rivnut tool, you will see this exact tool, probably with a different brand or same brand. They all came from the same company that makes these tools. This one, I believe, is a 16-inch one. I think that's 16-inch from the tip here to the back of the handle. And I like the double action ones because you can use both hands to use your force to crimp it. They have the single action ones or the little palm ones, and those just are not, you cannot get enough torque out of those to do anything bigger than maybe you might be able to do just above a 1/4 by 20 Rivnut. So what you get with this one, this is I believe $60 on Amazon, and you get, I want to say 12. I only have 3 out right now. These are the 3 I'm going to show y'all. You get 12 of these and like 100 inserts you get. So this is an M5 insert right here. So M5 bolt goes in here. Let's see if we get one of the bigger ones out here. Yeah. So on these little Rivnuts here, this is the little one. I'll show you all the bigger one. There's these slices cut in there. So that means when you put this onto an object and then you do the pulling action, this is designed to spread out and crimp it between the flange here and these ribs. So when you crimp it, it doesn't go sliding around inside the hole. It just stays put and you can't slide it. So that's what that's for. So this is a very large one. This one's a 1/2 by 13 Rivnut. This one's an M5 Rivnut. So I'm gonna show y'all how to do this right quick. I don't bother with the tool. It's nice to have, but the only time you need this is if you get a anvil stuck in the chuck here. That's the only time you really need this. I do them all finger tight. That's as tight as you need to get them. So let's put that aside. So the way you do this, you have it there, and this is adjustable. So what you can do is, since I'm going to be doing this M5, I'm going to adjust it to the proper size. So I'm just going to take that out right quick. And it also makes it easier sometimes, but like if I'm doing the 1/4 by 20, you don't have to take this out. You can just kind of eyeball it and wing it like that. And this is a friction nut. So when you put it on there, then you tighten this down clockwise, and it keeps this from unscrewing, just like a double nut setup. So we're gonna pull the M5 anvil out here, right here. So they come in these nice cases. The thing I don't like is these don't come in cases. They have one for $87 or $90. It comes with a box, but the box does a horrible job. All you get is this tool in there, and you get a bunch of these plastic bags just shoved in there. Yeah, it's a complete waste of money and time for that. But you get these nice little carrying cases for the anvils. And this is the collet for the tip of the chuck here. So it goes right inside of here. That is for your different size anvils. So each one of these anvils comes with a collet to go with. This one's been used a couple times. All of them have the same thread on the one side. That means you can only really put it in one way. And there's one of these that fits this the chuck here. There's one of them that fits it, but you still will be able to tell which side is what. This side will have a flange on it usually, like this one right here has a little flange there, and you will use that to, and that would be your front. So what you do is you pull back the sleeve here. So yeah, you just pull it back and you hold it, and you can grab it with your fingernail pretty easily. Then you just line up. This is a hex as well. You can line that up, and that locks it in place. That means you won't be able to move it. So since I'm doing it with this setup, I'm going to keep the handles closed, and I'm going to insert the chuck here. And I'm going to take this chuck all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and insert the collet as well. That's only for these smaller ones. These smaller ones get a little technical to be using. But yeah, only finger tight. You don't need it any tighter. You want to be able to just take it off like that. So now we're just going to go all the way down to that shoulder. And I like to go just past the shoulder. And there's that locked in place. And now you can just use your hand to lock it the rest of the way in place. Then what you do is you thread on your tool here. I mean your Rivnut. And what you do, you thread that on until it just sticks out past. So it's just sticking out, just barely past that last bit. That means all the threads are engaged. Now this one, I'm gonna actually back this out and I'm gonna actually tighten that up one more turn. Yeah, I like that. That gives me a little extra space. Yep, so now all the threads are engaged there. And what you would do is you apparently did something wrong. That's not right. What the heck is wrong? So this thing is not one of that. Come on. There we go. So we're gonna readjust this. I was just slightly off on mine. No, come on. Where do I need to? Yeah, there we go. So I was just slightly off. So what we do is you twist that on there, just like that. And make sure just a tiny bit is sticking out right there. So we're gonna open it so that it's just barely sticking out. And we're gonna grab this right here. This is just a random plate from the license plate that I had to cut off. And we'll take that and hopefully it will stay where it needs to stay. And we're gonna crimp it. And there we go, it's crimped. So now once you have it crimped, if you were in a bigger object, you would just use this handle, so I won't do that. So pretend like this is a large object. Now I need to take it out. You turn this plastic handle back here, counterclockwise, just like a regular screw, and it's out. That's how that is done. And then you have your crimp right here. So this plate was damaged, but you can see it's crimped on there. I cannot get that out with my hands. This is another one I did, and you can see how deformed it is from me pulling on it and getting pliers on there to get it out of that crimp. That's how well these are put on. And this is an M5. You are not going to be stripping that out. If it's crimped correctly, you're not going to be stripping it out with the M5 bolt. The M5 bolt will break before you strip this out, most likely. So that's how it's done. So it's nice and clean. And it protrudes just slightly. It protrudes on this one. Well, the amount it protrudes is the thickness of the shoulder. So this one is about a 16th inch shoulder. A 16-inch shoulder on the half inch here. Half inch by 13 Rivnut. It has about a 16th inch shoulder. That's what will be sticking out. So you gotta calculate that in if you need that extra space. I don't know if y'all saw that wherever the camera is. That's about a 16th. So there's that. Now the reason I say you don't need the tool is because this is how I do it. All you gotta do is pull your shoulder, your collet off. So there's the collet. Pull the shoulder down with your fingernail and just twist that out and it's free to go. I like to put the collet on top around like how it would go. That allows it when I put it into the storage case, that allows on these smaller ones, it allows it from hitting the sides and getting crushed and maybe breaking. If you crimp this down, for these smaller ones, the reason I do it, not all the time, I can kind of just wing it. But when you crimp them down with the, let's say the M3 or M4 anvil that comes with these, or the standard anvils, you can actually snap the anvil in half. If you're not perfectly straight and you put too much force, you will snap that anvil and you will break your anvil, and you will have to get a new anvil and have a big mess on your hands. Because getting these rib nuts out, if you can't get to both sides, is a pain. That's how you use this. So here is the largest one. So the largest ones that come with this is a 1/2 by 13 anvil and an M12 anvil. The 1/2 inch anvil is only about a 1/2 millimeter or so bigger than the M12 here. That's just, the M12 stands for metric 12 millimeter. So again, you have your same size threads right here that will thread into here. So I'm just going to show that to y'all right quick. You pull back with your fingernail, you slide that in, and then you just screw it on there, and you let that chuck come up, and now it's locked in there, and then you would put your anvil on. Your collet. And there, now it's installed and you're ready to put your rib nut on here. And that's all there is to it. So I won't take that back off. And then you just take that collet off, and you pull that sheath back, and you can pull it out. And those are the different size collets. Now this is the M12, and this is the 1/2 inch. So I don't know if y'all can see the size difference between the 1/2 inch and the M12, but the 1/2 inch is slightly bigger, just by about a 1/2 millimeter or so bigger than the M12 here. The 1/2 inch, I think, is approximately 12.45 millimeters is a 1/2 inch, I believe. Or it might be 12.46, if someone will correct me. And that is the size difference between a M12 and a 1/2 inch. If you're just doing it randomly, you just need a bolt, it doesn't really matter which one you use. But don't lose track of them. They are not marked. The only thing that marks them is their cases, so you don't want to lose track of those. So that's it for this. This all together was about $60. That is for 12 anvils and a bunch of these little rib nuts. And this tool. If you really want the case, I would advise not getting the case, because it's an extra $30 case and it's a piece of crap. Because they just throw a bunch of these little plastic bags in the case with this. There's no organization. There's just the tool and a bunch of these little bags. So I highly just recommend getting your best case scenario is to buy this for 60 bucks. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart and buy a $10 or $15 toolbox. You come out cheaper, and it'd be a lot nicer than what you ordered. So let me put this up. And that's going to be everything. So definitely a fantastic tool. I would recommend anyone get it. It's very simple to use. You have your little, this just unscrews and screws into the rivets. And then your collet here just tightens up, and then you got your anvils and your collets for those, and your rib nuts. That's everything that comes with the package. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. It is a fantastic tool. It does its job very, very well. Even if you get the super cheap ones, those anvils are about $6 to $7 a piece. It's kind of hard. I haven't seen another anvil cheaper than those, but they're about $6 or $7 a piece. So $60 for an entire kit is a big deal. You get a tool and all 12 anvils and rib nuts, all for 60 bucks. It's fantastic. If you just need one anvil, you only need one size and you're doing it one time, you can find videos on people taking a bolt and the correct size nut and using it to put in these rib nuts with a ratchet, with a screwdriver, with an impact gun. There's all sorts of videos, but if you want to have a dedicated tool and be able to and not have a bunch of loose nuts and bolts laying around to just do that job, you can buy this tool with the anvils that come organized and are the proper size. And that's everything for this video. Y'all have a good one. Thanks. Bye.